Hello, hello. It is John with the Leader Life, and we are delighted to be with you again. I know it's been a little bit of time. We've had a hiatus, but we've kind of changed up what we want to do in terms of content. Still want to really focus on what it means to be the leader life. Well, let me just jump right in. Tonight, this morning, whenever you're watching this, we will be focused on winning retail. I myself have almost a 24-year career in retail. I have done multiple trainings and coachings and have many, many stories and the data to back up that these different processes, skill practices, um, just habits and disciplines, these things work. And when I say work, what I mean is that they increase your sales, you make more commission. And that's what retail really comes down to, especially if you're a salesperson or a manager, is making sure that we're producing. And that really comes down to gaining customers for life, customers that trust you because you're the expert that cares. So, again, welcome to the Leader Life. My name is John Howell, and let's just dive right into it. I want to make this kind of short and sweet for you. Uh, we in re, as a salesperson, especially in retail, which is where my expertise lies, we have a constant desire and job and goal to make customers for life. When a customer is very valuable and they choose where they want to purchase something. So if you have a cell phone store, which is where I've been most of the time, a clothing store, antiques, whatever it may be, why should they come to you over and over again? And I'll tell you why they should and why they will. It's because they trust you. It's because you are famous for their customers, for their customer experience. You are an expert that cares. You listen to them, you talk to them, you engage with them. It might be that you're convenient, maybe you're right down the street, but I'll tell you this, it only takes them one time to go to another store that's a little bit farther away where they get treated better to never come into the store that's closer again. I used to tell my team, I want to see us build a legacy of being the sole providers of wireless service in our community. There's a lot of stores here. There's a lot of competition here. What's going to set us apart isn't our pricing. What's going to not it's not the service we provide. There's a lot of stores around here that provide the same pricing and the same service. What's going to set us apart is us being customer obsessed, completely obsessed with making sure we're winning hearts and minds, turning every frown upside down, making every single customer family, right? And so there's a lot that goes into that, but I want to talk about what makes let me pause for a second. This is a true statement. Look at the bottom of the screen. I think we all know this. Clerks are very important in this world, in this economy. We need clerks, right? And when I say clerk, I mean someone that takes your order, a clerk at the bank, someone behind the counter at Burger King or McDonald's. They're going to supersize it for you. They're going to get your Coke for you, and they're going to take whatever order you give them. And we need those people. I love those people. So if you're if that's you, thank you for your service and all that you do. But if you're a salesperson, here's a problem that in my two little more two than little more than 2 decades, a lot of that in leadership in retail. I have to constantly remind people they're not clerks. If you are here in the store, if you're wearing this uniform, if you signed up to do this job, you are a salesperson that has a commission to make. You can literally write your own paycheck. You're not going to do that by being a clerk because clerks don't make commission. Like I said, they're valuable. We appreciate them, but clerks are not who this is for. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because it's very easy to get into a rhythm of to do what's easy when you're in a store that has a counter, that has chairs, that has a back room, that customers walk in a door and they walk across. It's very easy to fall into a terrible habit of being a clerk. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a salesperson in retail, whether it's clothing, wireless, computer, tech, whatever it is, If you're in that habit, you are greatly missing out on your earning potential. You have so many customers that you've missed out on winning, customers that you could have helped. And I'll get into that in a second, but that weren't helped. They weren't assisted to their full to the full gamut of what they could be assisted with. The good news, they haven't been given the full good news that they could have been given. They haven't been won, they haven't been helped, because we default and we have a bad habit of being a clerk when we have a job as a salesperson. So there's a difference there. And let's talk about that difference. A salesperson needs to be where the money is. Bottom line, be where the money is. And in retail, that is not behind the counter. It's not in the back room. It's not outside smoking a cigarette. Being where the money is it's called something here. I actually have a term for it here. Let me find it. I call it the greed zone. The greed zone could also be called the green zone because it's where the money is made. The customer, and here's how it works. The customer walks in the door. When they walk in the door, typically what you see in so many retail instances is they walk across the store to the counter to talk to the great, high and mighty clerk salesperson, right? That's not how you make money in retail. That's not how you win customers in retail. To be a successful, healthy, confident salesperson in retail that's making a really good paycheck, you need to be out from behind the counter and you need to be in the greed zone. What is the greed zone? The greed zone is the sales floor. It's where customers can look at the product or look at the services. It's where you can talk without a counter in between you, right? It's a place where the money is made. It's a sales floor. It's called that for a reason. When you go to buy a car, and I've done this a few times in the past 5 years, my wife and I, we never have to walk to a counter to find service for looking for a car. We just don't. As soon as we get out of the car, we go to the same place. Actually, we've been going to the same place for years here in Florida. We get out of the car and we are greeted by people. They're happy to see us. They're offering us coffee or water, and they're talking to us, and we feel welcome right away. Right away. I don't have to go looking for anyone. I don't have to go and ask or bother someone to be helped. And when you're standing behind a counter and a customer has to walk in the door, walk all the way up to you, it really says something. It says two things. One, some customers, get here. Let me just back up. In general, it says this: the customer's in control. The customer is initiating everything. The customer is initiating the conversation. The customer's in charge. The customer's the one. And that's going to really be against you because the customer, nothing wrong with the customer in general being in charge, except in this situation, they don't know the product and service. They don't know their account. They don't have the training that you do. They don't have the skill set that you do. They don't have what you have. You are there for the purpose of being a consultant, of being an expert, and you cannot do that if the customer is in control. And the customer doesn't want to be in control. They want to be served. They want to know, they want you to help them save money. They want you to help them make a recommendation that's going to make this problem go away, or that's going to make their life easier, whatever it may be. And I'm telling you, you cannot do that effectively to the full potential that you're able to unless you are in the greed zone. That means when the customer opens the door, they walk in, you're right there, assertive, attentive, smiling, welcoming. And this is the beginning of a wonderful sales experience. I've said this before, and some of you, this is your first time with Leader Life, welcome. So I'm going to say it again. Sales is a conversation. If there's no conversation, then there's no profit. And I don't mean profit money. I mean profit in terms of winning a customer, winning a relationship, gaining trust. There's no progress. It's not truly sales if it's not a conversation. And there's a lot of things out there and that have given sales a bad name. But bottom line is they're not sales. You can say they're sharking, they're slamming, they're charlatans, whatever it may be. If it's not a consultative approach of listening to the customer, and that's for another time. We'll talk about questions and all that stuff. But if it's not a conversation, then it's not sales. And if you're not in the greet zone, greeting warmly, making them feel welcome, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to be able to get into the conversation that really makes what a sale is, right? You're not going to be able to really get to know your customer. And so what you do when you're in the greet zone, there's two things that happen. When you're in the greet zone, you set the expectation, right? That they are being greeted by an expert that cares. You are setting yourself already up as one that knows what they're talking about. And also, not only do I know what I'm doing, but I care about you. So all of my knowledge, all of that, everything that I do, I'm taking it and I'm giving it to you because I care about you. I'm not here to make a buck. I'm here to make a solution. I'm not here to win to get money in the bank, even though that's going to happen. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for you. I'm here to win a relationship. I'm here to gain your trust. I am your person. I used to tell customers all the time in wireless. I remember in Verizon, when I managed Verizon stores, I had a nickname for myself, Johnny Wireless. I had a Facebook channel that it did okay, where I would talk about promos, but mainly I was sitting there, I was trying to connect with my community outside of my four walls. And I was successful in doing that. And I would tell my customers online, and I would tell my customers as I'm in person with them, talking to them, I am your phone guy. I'm here to help you with every single thing you possibly could ever need with your wireless service, with your devices, with whatever it may be. Any questions, please come here. I remember we used to do a class on Saturday mornings for people who wanted to come and learn the basics of cell phones. Keep in mind, I've been in this game a while. 1999 is when I got into wireless. Nobody had cell phones except Zach Morris and James Bond villains, right? And so I was there to see so many go from a really small niche kind of thing to a huge market share in America, where now my son is 11 years old, has a cell phone. I mean, this is years later, but still. The point is that I've seen a lot, but one thing that never has changed, has not changed whatsoever. I had a debate with one of my clients earlier this week on that as we're trying to raise the needle with his business. One thing that has not changed with technology, no matter the technology has changed in all businesses, right? All businesses, technology has changed. Like nobody's using knuckle busters to fill out carbon copy credit card slips, right? No. Nothing. The one thing that has not changed, the one constant is this: gaining the trust of your customer, being the expert that cares. And the number one way to do that is in the first 3 seconds that they walk in your store, is them to see you there waiting for them. You are not just some clerk in the back that may or may not be watching Netflix on your phone. Right? You are a professional that's there for them. I've been waiting for you. Welcome. How can I help you? My name is John. So delighted to have you today. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Please. That's what I'm here for. Tell me, how can I help you? The second thing that you do with holidays coming up, and I have a training on this that's going to be coming out, but this is one point of it. With the holidays coming, unfortunately, crime goes up, right? Crime goes up, theft, robberies, things like that. When you are in a retail situation where you're in the greet zone, in the front, customers walk in, the first thing they see is your smiling, attentive face. Studies have shown time and time again that if anyone's there with a malicious intent to do something, they usually will kind of leave and go somewhere else. They're looking for slackers. They're looking for the clerks in the back of the room or the back of the counter that aren't really paying attention to them, right? So that's another thing that it does. It not only sets you up as an expert that cares, the second thing that it does is it keeps you safer. It really does. It keeps you safer. And I want you to take that to heart and don't take my word for it. Look it up. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. This is tried and true. Now, what I do have is I have my own data and experiences and stories to back up everything that I'm saying. I believe in this with all my heart. Another reason that we really want to get into the habit of being in the greet zone is how you start is crucial to how you finish. So this is the third thing, right? First thing is We set ourselves up as the expert that cares. The second thing is we keep ourselves safer in a retail situation. We really do. And the third thing is here, how you start is crucial to how you finish. Now, it's possible to start well and not end well, but man, it is really hard to end well unless you start well. Start strong. Start with that action of being an expert that cares, of being attentive, of listening, of asking the right questions. But it starts with you being right there. I am here for you. I've been waiting for you. I am in the greet zone. I am in control. I got you. I'm your tour guide through these services and through these products. I know everything that there is to know about them. I need to know about you, though, so I can help you, to help connect you with the right product, with the right service, with the right solution. That all starts with the greet zone, with being where you need to be. I've told my teams over the years, I've kind of developed this phrase here. In order to be successful today, we need to, in every single interaction with our customer, do everything we can to be front and ready. That means we're front, we're in the greet zone, but it's not just about where we are physically. It's not just about being in the right place physically, being in the greet zone, being in the right part of the store. It also comes down to being ready. Being ready. This is an organization that's called The Leader Life, but yet we're talking about sales today. What does being a salesperson in retail have to do with being a leader? I am so glad you asked that. It's one of my favorite questions. How did you know? Because being a salesperson literally requires that you are a leader in every single customer engagement and interaction. You are the leader that cares. You're the leader they want to follow. You are winning hearts and minds. And I've said this many times, The Leader Life, if you've been looking at any of our other, I think we have 8 broadcasts by now. That's going to be, we have a lot more coming out, a lot more content that's already written, ready to go, like this one. But I've said this in every single one. I'm going to continue to say it until my last breath. A leader is who you are. It has nothing to do with a title. A title is what you do. Any bozo can get a name tag slapped on their chest with a title. A leader is something different. A leader elevates those around them. A leader doesn't wait for a paycheck. A leader doesn't wait for an invitation. A leader doesn't wait for a title. And what I love to see is I love what organizations are doing now. There just seems to be a new way to do retail where I'm seeing so many businesses get to a place where they recognize the leader and then give them the title. Leader is who you are. So as a salesperson, you have to be a leader. You do. You're leading that client. You're leading that customer. You're guiding the purchase. You're making recommendations. You're listening. You're interviewing them and asking questions. And it starts with you being in the greet zone. In order for you to be the leader, the best leader that you can be today, you need to be not only in the right place in terms of your physical location in the store, but you need to be in your right place here, realizing that this customer, your customers today, will only be helped, will only get the full help that they can possibly get if you are the leader you need to be as a salesperson. Is your knowledge good? Do you know your promos? Are you asking the right questions? Are you really listening and caring about your customer? Does your customer notice you caring for them? That's huge. Perception is reality. Do they know that you care about them? Do they know that you're sitting here, that you're completely focused on them? And that all starts with the greet zone. You've got to be in the greet zone. Don't tell me that you can sell wireless service and devices and accessories. I know that's just where I'm at. And attachments and add-ons and services if you don't make that impression as a leader in the greet zone. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you a story right now about a particular store, not naming names, not naming companies, not naming wireless. It is a wireless store. I'm not telling you whether it is. I've worked for a lot of those. But one of the most clear examples I have is a store that was failing, probably, I would say 2 quarters, 6 months away from being closed. And when I took over the store, it's nothing I did. All I did was get them in the habit of being in the greet zone. And then once they're in the habit of being in the greet zone, the rest of the sales process kind of just happens because you're already out there. I don't want to water down how important it is to train on the rest of the sales process, but it starts with starting strong, starting well, having that confidence, having that welcome, having that greeting in the greet zone. Another way to look at this is avoiding a sale. There's so many sales errors. I'm going to talk about the top sales errors in future trainings. But one huge sales error, I guess we could say, is not being in the right place or at the right time. If you're not in the greet zone, you're making a huge error. You're missing out on building relationships, winning customers, and making money. And so that's why I really believe one of the most important habits as a salesperson is to be in position, be in the right position. In retail, this means doing one's best to be up front on the sales floor and ready to greet and engage the customer, being up front and being ready. This is what it takes to win in retail. And I promise you this, I will stake my entire career on this. If you get into the habit of greet zone, with every customer, greeting them, being there, being ready in mind, being ready in your physical position. If you honestly do that and you don't see an increase in your commission, if you don't see an increase in smiling customers, if you don't see an increase in just your overall health and success as a salesperson, I'll quit doing this. And I've been giving this challenge now for 10 years, and I have yet to have a reason to quit this, because no one has been able to come forward except for testimonies of how they've done it, how it's worked for them. It will work for you. A young salesperson just getting into the game, do this. Make that habit now. Maybe you're like me, you're an old head and we're kind of stuck in our ways. I get that. I fall into that. But shake off old habits and replace them with this habit. I promise you'll make more than you've ever made. You'll win more customers than you've ever won. This is essential to retail success. How you start is critical. It's crucial to how you finish. The bottom line is, be where the money is. The money's with the customer. Don't make the customer come look for you. Remember, we're not clerks. Clerks don't make commission. You have a commission plan. Clerking is the exact opposite. It's very antithetical to the behaviors and the habits that you need to be successful. And lastly, I want to say this. I believe in every one of you. I believe in every single person. If you're watching this, you have potential to do great things with your life, with your business, with your career. You have great opportunities to win customers, to win hearts and minds, and to make a really good living doing a great thing. I love sales. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I really can't. It's an adventure every day, every customer interaction. And I'll tell you what, over the years, I have had great leaders that have held me accountable to greet zone, held me accountable to being where the customer is, held me accountable to being in control, to being assertive, to being the expert that cares. And man, those leaders I'm forever grateful to them. Forever grateful to them. You are a leader if you're a salesperson. Be in the greet zone. Be attentive to your customer. Don't be behind the counter. Don't clerk. Don't fall into that habit. If you have that habit, it's fine. Change it. You can do it. This is John with The Leader Life, sharing how to win, how to win in retail, how to make more commission, how to win more customers for life. It's been a pleasure being with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful